Welcome to One on One with Mr. Roland Amoussauge, Senior Legal Advisor, Chief External Relations and Strategic Planning Section, Spokesman of the International Tribunal for Rwanda. Mr. Amoussauge, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You spoke at length today about your success with witness protection. Can you tell us and tell our viewers of your experience, sir?
My experience is that witness protection operation is a very costly endeavor. Second, witness operation requires state cooperation, streamlined structure, commitment, dedication of staff who must make sure that it is successful, and requires proper protocol and proper framework agreements signed between the court, the state members, signed between the court and specialized institutions like UNHCR, Human Rights, ICRC, the Red Cross, IOM for the migration, in order to provide support to the operation of a tribunal.
During the panel debate today, you spoke about challenges. What challenges have you had with African countries in connection with protection programs?
The major challenge is how to get a state to cooperate with the court to facilitate the identification of witnesses who happen to reside illegally in the country of residence, who has no legal status, and who has been living in hiding in that particular state. How do you get the state to agree to temporarily transform the illegal status into legal status? How do you get the country to agree to issue proper documentation to such a witness to enable his travel? How do you agree to have that particular state to provide protection and security to such a person once he returns to the country? And how do you agree to get the state to allow re-entry into the country of such a person who happened to travel to Arusha to testify? Those are practical challenges that we were able to overcome through discussion and negotiation with member states.
There has been an outcry that some of the witnesses are enticed. What do you say to that?
No, I will not believe that this is the case, particularly knowing the conflict, the nature of the conflict that led to having such witnesses. And with respect to the court in Arusha, we have to distinguish between the investigative phase, where it is for the prosecutor and the defense to identify their own witnesses and to take testimonies. But once the witnesses become the court witnesses, it belongs now to the registry of ICTR to organize all the necessary support. And this support is done in a very impartial manner in accordance with the law that governs our operation. And there is not a possibility for enticing a witness to now come forward, because such a witness is already a witness of the court.
Can you talk about the staff who work in protection services? Because I believe with whichever country they are having the protection services, tell us something in short about their training and if they can be trusted.
Yes, they must be trusted, because before identifying staff who can work in the area of witness protection, there is rigorous process of selection of such persons. And second, there is a training program that is organized where they were reminded about their ethical duties, never to disclose information that come to their knowledge, and to observe the secrecy that must surround the witness protection operation, and they shall never take party. And these people also, within the context of the court, must swear in for keeping confidential all the information that comes their way. So they are not there to serve the prosecutor or the defense. They serve only the court, and they do things that are in the interest of the court proceedings.
Since you seem to have vast experience in protection services from the tribunal, how is your experience of value to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, since it's still young?
Yes, what is very good is that ICTR went through similar experience in early 90s when it was established. So it is time for us to pass the baton, to share with ICC the lessons that we have learned through 17 years of operation. So I'm here at the invitation of some NGOs to share our experience with ICC. And this is an ongoing process, and we have been cooperating with ICC for some time now, so that we can put available to ICC all the documented experience and all the experiences that we have gathered in confronting the same challenges that they're facing today.
Since you are concerned about the safety of witnesses, talk to us about the Kenya situation, witness protection, and say something about the interference of witnesses that we hear about and read in the media.
Unfortunately, I could not comment on the Kenyan case. You have been present at the meeting, at the conference where one of the presenters was from the civil society and who has talked about the witness protection program in Kenya. And then he was seconded by the director of the witness protection program, who provided us with a great insight about the mandate, the jurisdiction, and the challenges of such a program. So I leave it to you to take clues from what they have said. All I can tell you is that ICTR has worked closely with the government of Kenya in the conception stage of the witness protection program by availing the experience of ICTR. ICTR received the two leading experts of Kenya that the government sent to come and explore and try to find out how ICTR conducts its witness operations, and we share with those experts from Kenya the knowledge that we have, and we made available to them the document that we have used. This helped them to design the first Witness Protection Act that was subsequently adopted in 2006.
I have two more questions before we wind up. What message do you have for African countries in connection with taking care of witnesses?
I believe it's high time for all African states, particularly those who are state parties to ICC, to integrate witness protection into their legislation. They must adopt Witness Protection Act and set up a structure, set up policies, procedures that should enable them to have witness protection operation in their countries, because it becomes a very important tool in the dispensation of justice, particularly when you have to prepare yourself to have actual and active complementarity over the jurisdiction that you have over crimes against humanity, genocide, and so on. And organized crimes, emerging crimes like piracy, drug trafficking, child trafficking, all these required you to have in place a witness protection program that is commensurate with the effort, that shall be well-funded in the sense that it's not sufficient to have just a witness protection program for the sake of it, but you have to explore ways to strengthen the operation capabilities of that program by providing the necessary resources for such a program. It's extremely costly, but it's not impossible for all our states to at least attempt to get witness protection embedded into their legislation.
Finally, you have been in The Hague now, attending this African State Parties session conference. Do you think the amendments sought during this 12th session is good for the cases and particularly the ongoing cases?
I will not comment on that because I'm here as an observer and I'm a spokesperson of ICTR. I can only comment on issues facing ICTR as well as on the experience of ICTR. But with respect to any pending matters before the Assembly State Parties, unfortunately, I reserve my comments on it.
Thank you, Mr. Roland Amoussauge, for granting us this interview.
It's really my pleasure to grant you such an interview. Thank you so much.